Today I'm going to talk you through some of the pitfalls when using the Ember wood-fired oven, what fuel to use when you're cooking inside it, and how to maintain that high temperature when you're cooking pizzas. So this oven is predominantly a wood-fired oven, which means you can only use wood in it. So we've got some kiln-dried wood and we've got some wood pellets, all available from the alfresco chef. The idea with this pizza oven is that you establish your fire in the back of it and you get it to 400 degrees Celsius and you let your oven heat up for around 15 minutes before you cook anything in it. Inside is a ceramic plate which your pizza sits directly on. So you want this to get nice and hot. Otherwise your pizza is going to go in and it's going to be cold and the pizza might stick and then you won't get a nice crispy bottom, the sort of thing you want from a nice pizza cooked in a wood-fired oven. So what I'm going to do now is just show you how to establish a fire in the back of it. In this, which is basically your fire pot. This goes into your oven and your fire burns away and it warms the oven up from the rear. Some little tips I use when using the Ember wood-fired oven is like this. On a windy day, face your oven to the wind. So basically that wind is going to blow that fire and keep it established. The other way round, the wind will blow through the actual unit and it might cause flames to come out the back. Both the handles on the fuel chute and the fire basket are both wooden, so you don't want this to happen. First, let's take a look at the alfresco chef's kiln-dried wood. So you've not got tons of space in here, so you don't want to be putting loads of logs in straight away, like that. That's never going to burn and you're never going to get to the high temperatures you need to cook in the pizza oven. So what I suggest is starting off with a few of the smaller pieces and one of the alfresco chef's tumbleweed lighters, and then all you're going to do is light your fire lighter. Once your fire lighter is established, you're going to take your fire pot and put it into the rear of the oven, like so. Our fire's been burning now for a couple of minutes, so I just want to take it out the back of the Ember to show you. So it's smouldering away nicely and we've added one more log onto the fire to keep it burning. You do this by putting the logs down the back of the chute of the Ember. We've talked about kiln-dried wood, so the things to take with you are: don't smother your fire, have the oven pointing into the wind to let the oxygen help the fire establish, and keep adding a log every time you see that thermometer drop down. Now onto pellets. Very similar with pellets. You don't want to smother your fire, so all you're going to do is take a handful to start, then you're going to take one of your fire lighters, and then ignite it. Same principles, you don't want to smother your fire. So, for example, by getting a load of pellets, and dropping them on top, it's just going to extinguish that fire. What you want to do is give your fire lighter room to breathe. More oxygen, more flame, more fire, and the pellets will just catch light naturally. These are walnut pellets, so they should give us a nice smoky flavour when we use them in our oven. But same thing, let your fire establish, in the rear it goes, and don't overfill it. You don't want to be chucking tons of pellets down your tube because basically you're just going to smother that flame. No oxygen, no fire, no pizzas. So now our fire's established, it's safe to put some pellets in the tube. So that's how you get the best out of your Ember wood-fired oven. So the important things to remember are keep the oven pointed towards the wind. This will help your fire start and maintain, and topping up your fuel as well. You can dual fuel in this oven, so you can use kindling and you can also use wood pellets. So use your kindling as a base and add your pellets sparingly to spike those temperatures up to cook your pizzas. Now to some troubleshooting. If you're still not managing to reach the high temperature you desire to cook a pizza, it could be because your fuel's taken on a little bit of moisture. So obviously look at where you store your fuel. You want to put it somewhere like a shed, that's somewhere that stays dry. Also, the oven itself can actually take on some moisture, so you want to keep that inside if possible as well. The ceramic brick that sits inside that your pizzas sit upon, that can absorb moisture and can affect how hot it actually gets inside the oven. So consider these things, but as I said, the important things is keep the oven facing to the wind, keep your fuel dry and use your fuel sparingly. You don't want to overload the back of the oven because you're never going to get an established fire and reach those high temperatures you need for cooking some awesome pizzas. So that was how to establish and maintain a fire in your Ember wood-fired oven.